My mouth was practically open for like half a minute after finishing the Gilded Age Season 3, Episode 5. Do not expect me to be here when you return. This marriage is actually in shambles. I'm so glad Bertha is going to England to help Gladys put that Lady Sarah in her place, but I'm actually scared of what's gonna happen when she returns. The trailer for the next episode shows that things will not be good for Marian and Larry either, as she hears about his recent visit to the Haymarket. But hey, Maud Beaton is back, Oscar gets his confrontation finally, and our hot daddy seems to be losing it all after his wife literally flirted with another man in front of him. Let's do a breakdown of this episode and then discuss what's gonna happen in episode 6. Gladys in England. I mean, we all knew Gladys's adaptation process in England would be difficult, especially because of how Lady Sarah was introduced in the previous episode. And let us not forget that she's still basically a child. I mean, how old is she? 18? I think it would be unreasonable to expect her to take down a woman such as Lady Sarah. I would have loved for Hector to grow a backbone and stand up for his wife, support her, you know? I get that he and his sister have always been together and alone, and now there's this new stranger in their lives, but Gladys is now your wife, dude. You have to support her. That guy at dinner was basically nicer to her than anyone else has ever been in England, and I was glad to see Gladys ask for her mother's help. And we know if there's someone in this entire show who can take down Lady Sarah, it's Bertha. As we'll talk more about in the trailer section of this video, Bertha actually goes to England and helps Gladys, gives her a few strategies on how to deal with women like Lady Sarah and how to improve her marriage. And it actually looks really good. I would love to see that mother-daughter dynamic that we haven't really seen before, with Bertha teaching Gladys her ways and Gladys learning how to be like her mother when it comes to dealing with difficult people and getting her way. The new engagement. Don't tell me you weren't smiling ear to ear when the engagement scene in the park happened. I think we can all agree this was the best proposal Marian has ever gotten, right? My favorite part about the reactions to the engagement was George being so happy for his son because he knows Marian's a catch. And Agnes's reaction, how they couldn't possibly be happier. I mean, I don't get why she was upset. Is she upset because things are happening without her knowledge, or does she just not like Larry? Like Ada said, there isn't really any reason for her to dislike Larry. The guy has been really nice to Marian and everyone else in their family, so I hope when things go down with Marian learning that Larry has been to the Haymarket, Agnes doesn't discourage Marian from this relationship. If one thing's for sure, we know that Bertha will definitely be against this relationship, simply because Marian has no money of her own, no dowry whatsoever, and the fact that this all happened so fast without her knowledge or involvement, she tends to get angry when things happen out of her control. Maud Beaton is back. We had already guessed this would happen based on the trailer HBO Max released after episode 4. For those who don't know, Maud is based on a real-life woman called Cassie Chadwick, who was basically an imposter heiress, an actress, who faked her identity to get the investments of high society men. And Cassie isn't even her real name, it's just one of her best-known pseudonyms. Her real name is Elizabeth Bigley, and she was a Canadian con artist who acted like she was the daughter of a well-known industrialist and defrauded many wealthy men and banks out of millions of dollars. I'm so excited to see Oscar's confrontation with her because now that Larry let him know, we know Oscar will go there and try to get his money back. We'll see how it goes. The annoying Mr. Fortune. The audacity this man has, having a family of his own, a child from his wife, and then going after another woman who already has a suitor, is just so wrong on so many levels. I get that this man helped Peggy business-wise, right? But I was so glad to see Peggy stand up to him with Dr. William. And this guy is doing everything right so far. We know his family is problematic, especially his mother, who doesn't like Peggy's skin color, family background, and active life, but William has been so nice to Peggy, and I love the scene where he confronted Mr. Fortune and still remained a gentleman. What did you think of that scene? Tell me in the comments. Drama in Newport. I know you all thought that Bertha supporting Mrs. Fane while no one else did was a great move. Even though we all kind of hate Bertha at the moment, I'm glad she remembered it was Mrs. Fane who helped introduce her to society in the first place. I genuinely think she wanted to help Mrs. Fane because she recognizes the difficult position she's in. And I also loved seeing the contrast between the way Bertha treated Mrs. Fane and how Mrs. Astor did. Mrs. Astor is still stuck in her old ways, while Bertha is representing the new, more progressive way of thinking, a theme we've been watching for 3 seasons. Marriage in shambles. And the most scandalous part of the episode happened towards the end. I mean, we knew ever since this whole Gladys situation that George and Bertha's relationship would take a dive toward unhappiness, but I was not expecting it to get this serious so soon. For George to say those words, I'm guessing it's a mix of everything. His business is struggling, he's lost his right-hand man, and the fact that the man he wanted to make a business deal with liked his wife more than he liked him must have been a big blow. I also have to admit, Bertha took it too far. I mean, yes, George asked her to charm the guy, but I feel like she was outright flirting with him, and that maybe showed George the lengths she can go to get what she wants. And then came that letter, Gladys asking for help. George said he wouldn't be there when Bertha returned, and that shocked me to my core. We know divorce is on the table for Bertha and George, considering Alva Vanderbilt, the inspiration for Bertha Russell, divorced her husband right before her daughter married a duke. But I also think that Bertha and George are the backbone of this entire show, and them going through a divorce wouldn't be a good choice for the storylines. In the end, we all want them to succeed. I think that's the whole premise. We want the new to overcome the old, regardless of how villainous Bertha has become. My prediction, once George's business situation is fixed and Gladys becomes happier in England, the couple will mend things. But I feel like the tension between them will last for a while. What do you think will happen between these two? Let me know in the comments. Episode 6 trailer. The trailer starts with George being called by JP Morgan. We don't know the reason, but it seems serious. Later in the trailer, Morgan tells George the entire railroad industry is in chaos, meaning things will get worse before they get better, and George will be even more distressed. Clay, his former right-hand man, also seems to be making some kind of a deal with the new guy. Is he trying to get revenge on George for firing him, or is he helping him behind the scenes hoping to get his job back? We don't know, but I have a theory about this storyline. In episode 5, they repeated twice that the mines were worthless. I feel like the fact that they focused on that means the mines will be worth something, and Larry will be the one to discover that and save his father's business. If you guys know, the Morenci mines hold one of the country's largest copper reserves, and around this time, copper is in huge demand, so these mines could become incredible investment opportunities. I think Larry will realize this and save his father's business. What do you say? The trailer also shows Marian questioning Oscar about Larry's whereabouts. It looks like she'll learn about the Haymarket and think Larry did something there. From the mid-season trailer, we know she gets very upset, thinking she trusted the wrong person, failed at another engagement again, so we'll see Marian quite disappointed in this episode. Oscar also gets his moment with Maud. I don't know how this conversation will go, even if she tells him the truth. The money is probably already gone, but still, I can't wait. We're seeing Elizabeth Kirkland again, and she's not happy with Peggy. Peggy finally realizes this and has a chat with her mother about it. I truly believe that marrying into that kind of family would be torture, and William has to stand up to his mother. I'm not sure if he will, but I also know I can't stand Peggy being unhappy for another season. Just resolve this matter, please. We just want to see Peggy happy after all she's been through. The trailer also shows that Jack and Ada have a conversation about his new situation, and he seems to be hugging Mrs. Bauer. Does that mean he's leaving the house? I don't think I'm ready for that. And my favorite part of the trailer, Bertha being in England, being a teacher to Gladys. Gladys says Hector has followed his sister his entire life, so it will be difficult to make him listen. But Bertha says you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Episode 6 is called If You Want to Cook an Omelet, so I think the episode will focus on Bertha and Gladys, and I cannot wait to see the kind of strategies she gives her daughter. In one scene, you can already see the Duke leaving with Gladys, leaving Lady Sarah behind, looking quite angry, which means that whatever Bertha is saying is already helping Gladys. And their look across the dinner table, incredible. What do you say? Are we getting Bertha number 2 out of Gladys? If you want to learn how the real Gladys married a real Duke in real life, check out this video.